This week, I'm going to be introducing you to the concept of arrays. We are going to build upon the existing foundation of all the different statements we have learned about. We learned about how to use variables to store data. We learned about how to use conditional statements, if else, else if. We learned about using switch statements. We have learned about how to use loops. So this is another concept that is going to make life simple for us. As many of you would remember, we have done, um, you know, loops to get like grades of students one by one, and then we have like found the average or displayed the grades and so on and so forth. So what is an array is what I want to talk about in this video. An array is basically a collection. For example, if you have, tennis balls all stacked up on top of each other in a container, that is how I want you to visualize an array. Okay? Or you can think of a shelf with a lot of books. That could be considered as an array. A bookshelf is like an array. Okay? So one row in a bookshelf is one array. So that is called a single dimensional array. So you just have one group of elements that holds the same type of content. A bookshelf is going to hold books. Let's say there is a limitation, you cannot put your phone on it or whatever it is. So a bookshelf holds books, nothing else. An array holds the same type of elements. So some of the data types we have seen are integer, string, we have seen double. So if you have an array, you have to say what it is going to hold. An array is nothing but a variable that can hold more than one value. So let me just demonstrate here. So if we have a variable called integer x, and then you say x is 5, then you say integer y equal to 6, integer z equal to 4. Let us say all these are ages of children, for example. If there are three children, their ages are 5, 6, and 4. So you can put them in three different variables, which is how we have done it so far. We have used a unique variable for each and every, in this example, age of children. But what if there's a way for you to create an array that can hold all the ages of the children in one variable name? So you will be using one variable name to access multiple data. The only limitation is that they all have to be the same data type. So in this case, we can see all these three are integers, right? Because they all denote the age of children. So they are going to be integer. So all these three can be instead put into a single variable. So that is what an array is all about. An array is nothing but a collection of data. If you want to dummy it down a little bit more, it is nothing but a variable. An array is a variable that can hold more than one data. Okay. So let us see one simple example. I have an example here. Just give me a second. So before we do any of that, please create a week 9 sprint 1. It's a console app. Please create that. So I created a week 9 sprint 1 folder. I created a new console app. As usual, I have written the purpose of this here, collection of birds. So we want to store, let us say the birds are cockatiels, robin, sparrow, kingfisher, pigeon, crow. So these are all birds. We are going to save the name of all these species, the bird species, inside one variable. Normally we would say bird1, string bird1 equal to cockatiel, string bird2 equal to robin, string bird3 equal to sparrow, So normally you would need 6 of these variables to store the name of these 6 bird species. Instead of doing it this way, a more efficient way would be to use one variable, which is an array. So this variable is going to hold the name of birds. So when I say the name of the species of the bird, which means it is going to hold a string. So to indicate that it is an array, you have to put the square brackets. So I say string birds equal to, and then we can say cockatiel, robin, sparrow, okay, this is a better way of doing it because one variable is the variable is called birds. It's going to be a collection of all the different bird species. So if I want to like access an individual bird, you can use either a for loop or a for each statement to actually go through it and pull every single one out. So in this way, it is much easier than using 6 different variables. Okay, so this is what an array is. An array is nothing but a variable. So the name of the variable is birds. The what it is going to hold is a string, but it's not going to be one element, it's an array. So for an array, you have to like use the square bracket. So this is the easiest form of declaring and assigning an array at the same time. So I just want to take you like step by step to make it easier. There are many different ways for us to declare arrays and assign values, but this is one of the simplest ways for you to make the transition from using a variable to using a collection like this. An array is a collection. So the birds is a variable that is holding, in this case, 6 different data inside it. Okay, so let us think about it. Okay, so how do I know the length of this? So if you want to know the length of the array, you just say birds dot length. That is the name of the property. Okay, so you can say int length equal to birds dot length, and then let's write it and see what comes out. So what I'm doing is I am just trying to figure out how many elements are inside this. I know it is 6, but I want to know how to know that programmatically without manually counting. So let's run this program. So I should get a message saying length of the bird array is, and then the number should be 6. Okay, the build is taking a little bit of time. Okay, build succeeded. I got the title collection of birds. That's the name of the program. Then the length of bird array is 6. And then it says all done. Perfect. That's exactly what I want. Now I know if I want to find out the length of an array programmatically, I can use this particular property called length. Remember, C# is case sensitive, so be mindful of that. Let us say I want to use a for statement and print each and every individual item inside the birds array. So for that, I would say for int I equal to 0, array start at 0 and go till length minus 1. So the cockatiel is 0, number 0, robin is number 1, sparrow is number 2, kingfisher is number 3, pigeon is number 4, and crow is number 5. So for I equal to 0, I less than length I plus plus. So that would tell me I can, instead of this, I can say I less than 6. But then I am hard coding a value. So instead of that, always use a programmatic way. So if they add like 5 more birds here, your program will not break. So this is the for loop. So here I want to print each and every individual element Okay, so this is just some, something to like say what birds we have. So what is the first bird name? So if you want to know like what each birds are, you just put I here. So this is how you would individually access the elements of an array. If you are using the for loop, then this is the way to do it. Okay, so you use a square bracket to indicate birds is an array, and then I indicates which element you are accessing. First time it will be 0, second time it will be 1, so on and so forth. Okay, so let's run this now and see what happens. One of the birds in collection is cockatiel. So it's saying first time it's cockatiel, robin, sparrow, kingfisher, pigeon, and crow. Perfect. Now we found a way to access the individual elements of an array. This is using the statement we already know. Okay. Now let's go to a statement that is brand new and it is very specific to arrays. That is called as a for each statement. For each, let's put this. This is how I like to write code. For each element is going to be a string, right? Each element is going to be a string, and the name of the string is going to be, the variable is bird. This is going to denote one element inside the birds array. So this is how we write code. So for each string bird, that's the bird is the element in birds, the collection. So here you can say console dot write line, one of the birds in collection is, and then here instead of using birds of I, you just say bird. Bird is this. So every time you use the for each statement, one bird from this birds collection will be thrown into this variable called bird. It can be called G, B, anything. You can call it as A, but I just wanted to use something that will indicate an individual bird inside the collection birds. So see, note the difference in how we are using it. So this is a much more elegant way of doing it, but whatever is comfortable for you, you can use that method. Okay, the result will be exactly the same. There will be no difference. But when you use a for each statement, you don't have to worry about how many times to parse it. You don't have to manage what the length is. It just is built for arrays. For each statement is built for stepping through, iterating through arrays. So it is made in such a way that it is very intuitive and does not require a lot of manipulation. So the first, these six are going to be from the for statement, and these are from the for each statement. Okay, I will add some titles accordingly. Hope this makes sense and hope this helps. An array can hold integer, an array can hold string, double, whatever it is, any data type. You can hold any data type inside an array, but you cannot mix array data types. So it holds only one type of collection. So we can't like mix and match. So just remember, an array is a collection and it can hold numbers, strings, anything like that. You can use the for statement. If you use the for statement for an array, the array elements can be accessed by using this called as the subscript. Okay, if you are using the for each, you don't have to do that. You just directly use the variable name right here and then you're good to go. And we also saw how to find the length of an array. I hope this is helpful. You can find this code in GitHub as week 9 sprint 1. Thanks.